All right, now let's talk about what is tipping the scales of justice. Jury selection kicks off today in the trial for Sean Diddy Combs in federal court in New York, where he's accused of sex trafficking. Now, no cameras allowed because it's federal court. Unfortunately, they should change that law. That's another discussion for another day. Diddy's pleaded not guilty to this 5-count indictment. He's looking at decades in prison if he's convicted. But his attorneys say they are ready to fight.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight anymore.
150 prospective jurors will be showing up in person for the questioning to be done by the court over the next few days. So what kind of jurors will each side be looking for? Let's talk about that. Who would you want ideally on this case if you were either one of the prosecutors or one of Diddy's defense attorneys? Let's bring in attorney Tommy Pope and welcome in entertainment commentator Holland Reed. Okay, so the ideal jurors. Let's start with the prosecutors. And it is an all-female team of prosecutors who's prosecuting Diddy. So who ideally might they be looking for here? Holland, would you start us off? Who do you think might be a great juror from the government's perspective?
Oh, gosh, Julie, that's a hard question because it's going to be almost impossible to find a biased, or I'm sorry, impartial juror who does not know Puff Daddy, Diddy, Sean, whatever you want to call him. I'm thinking someone that is not going to be easily weirded out by some of the context of the materials that's going to be given to them as evidence. Someone that is okay with looking at really, I would have to just say disgusting evidence across the board. Someone that maybe doesn't care for his music. It's really going to be hard to get 12 jurors that do not know who he is and doesn't have an opinion, given this is such a huge trial in the entertainment industry and media.
Right. Oh, and you hit on some really great things. Maybe somebody who's not a fan, doesn't like him. If you're a prosecutor, yeah, and like you said, who's not afraid to look at the unpleasant evidence that's surely coming their way. Yeah, I love those points. Tommy, you were a sensational prosecutor. You were a solicitor in South Carolina, put away Susan Smith. She's still behind bars, thank goodness for that. Tell me, who ideally or would you be looking for on this one?
Well, what I've just learned is I shouldn't have gone to law school because Holland nailed it without even having a law degree.
She did, I know.
I don't know what I've got to add. Yeah, I used to always tell people, you know, with our jury strikes that I was looking for just truly, this sounds cliche, but discerning jurors, and I agree with Holland. They're going to see and hear some things that, you know, they may have never been exposed to. Obviously, you know, to be truly fair, you don't, you know, maybe they're going to border these questions of, you know, do you like his music? Do you not? You know, do you have any racial bias? Do you not? You know, and so those, I just want a discerning juror, particularly if they have the volume of evidence that they believe they do, because with numerous counts, there's going to be technicalities and sorting out the evidence, and it's going to take a unique juror. You know, it's like, I agree, it's going to be rare somebody that hadn't heard something about it, and, you know, the judge always throws in, you know, can you set that aside? And you got to be careful because sometimes people want to be on juries and high-profile juries, and that can be dangerous for both sides. And so you've got to kind of watch that. But people that can truly set it aside and be rational and discerning really plays well. And now flip to the defense. I think that if they truly believe in their case, then they would want the same type of jurors. But I'm sure you'll ask that question in a minute.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, my friend. Yes, so the defense side, let's go there. So who might they want? Are they looking for fans? You know, perhaps kind of the opposite. You know, Holland, you were saying, like, if you're on the government side, maybe somebody who doesn't care for him or his music or whatever, thinks he's too rich or whatever bias they might have. What about the people the defense is looking for? Who would you ideally want if you're Diddy and his team, Holland?
Oh, I'm going to go right back to that original point. It's going to be very hard to find someone that does not know who he is. So I think you're also in the state of New York. He's from New York. So maybe people that have a little bit more sympathy for him say, hey, this is just the lifestyle. This is what he did. Everybody was consensual. Someone that just thinks that this is what you do when you're a celebrity or when you're from a big city. I'm going to think and hope that people will, like, as Pope said, not be discerning in this. This is going to be really tricky.
Right. No, it really is. And what about, between men and women? I wanted to ask you both that question. Tommy, what do you think for the Diddy defense team? Are you wanting more men, more women? How would you go?
I think it cuts into two slices. I think as far as men, going back to what Holland said, that it's kind of just a lifestyle. It may not be your lifestyle. It may be some that some of the men would aspire to, and so I think you look for men like that. I think you look for people that distrust the system in general. Maybe they've had a bad experience with an arrest that they didn't do. You could almost ask a voir dire question, something to the effect, have you or a friend ever been charged with a crime that you didn't commit, or something like that, if that was permitted by the judge. But I think people that, we're supposed to come in balanced, but I think what you're really looking for is people that, think that he's getting railroaded, and, and that demographic of folks that just think they picked on him for whatever reason. And, you only need one. The prosecution needs 12. You only need one to hang a jury.
That's true. I really think he's got a great shot at a fair trial because when you think just the general public, probably most people are fans and like his music, or at least appreciate and respect what he's done, even if you don't care for the music, at least, and then makes you wonder, okay, we know he had a lot of civil suits. Is this about money? So I think he's really going to get a fair trial. Holland, last question. I just need a real quick answer. What do you think about the age group? If you're Diddy's team, would you go for like people in their 30s and 40s who probably grew up with the music?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to go anywhere from, I would say, 35 to 45 to 50, and I think that's going to be a sweet spot age group. People that are fans, that have followed him, that respect his work.
Right. I'm with you, Holland. I think he's definitely going to get a fair trial. This is not going to be an easy case for the government, that's for sure. Tommy and Holland, we have to leave it there for now. Tommy, you're going to come with us and give us analysis on the Karen Reed trial. And Holland, I know you're a busy person. You're an actress, photographer, all of that, speaker. We need to let you get going and get on with your day. But thank you for the commentary on this case.
Absolutely.
We'll see you back here next week, I hope. And that is all for this episode of Opening Statements, friends. You can watch it again, share it. We're here every weekday morning to get you all ready for the court day ahead.